In this video, I'm going to show you how to self-host a Supabase instance. So basically what we can do, we can run Supabase locally. So what we will need to do is to install first Supabase to run some commands, and then we will be able to launch our Supabase instance locally. On my terminal, I'm going to type brew install, and here I'm going to type supabase/tap/supabase. I'm going to type enter, and it's going to install on my machine. Okay, it's downloading right now my Supabase package that I need, so I'm fetching Supabase. Once it's done, what I need to do is to type Supabase login. And here I need to get a token. So I'm going to open my Supabase instance. Then what I need to do is to generate a new token, and let's say it's going to be local, let's say local. I'm going to generate this new token. And here we are. So I got my token, which is here. I'm going to copy paste, get back, and I'm going to enter my token. Now when it's done, I'm going to create a new folder. So here it's going to be, for instance, my Supabase local project. Okay, I'm going to type enter. Then I'm going to enter into my Supabase local project. Then I'm going to type Supabase init. I'm going to type init, and then it's done. And what I want to do, I want to type Supabase start, okay? So I'm going to type enter, and here I'm supposed to get an error, okay? So if you get an error, what you need to do is to install Docker, because here Supabase start need to have a Docker instance to run, as you see up here. If you don't know Docker yet, it's a tool that helps you actually to run containers, to run instances of code inside your machine, okay? So we need to install Docker here, so you can install Docker desktop, or you can go more down and find the download link. Docker is used by many companies. It's a very useful tool. If you want to know more about Docker, I'll let you look online. Once you've installed Docker, you're supposed to have something like this. Back into the project, I'm going to type again Supabase, then start. I'm going to type enter. And here it's going to pull the images, and it's going to run all the containers that I need to make my instance running. So I should wait a little bit, because sometimes it can take time to pull everything and to complete the whole project. But once it's done, we will get a message that our instance will be running all the time. Every time there will be Docker that will run. Okay, so it's supposed to be done. We've got several URL here, the GraphQL URL, the API, the DB URL, which is our Postgres instance. So for those who really look at where is the Postgres instance, you got it here. There is also the Studio URL. So the Studio, it's simply the dashboard made with Next.js and Tailwind that gives you access to the Supabase instance, okay? You got your anon key, you got your service role key, you got everything in here. So I'm going to open my Studio and look at this. Here we are. So we've got our local Supabase instance running. So I'm going to show you the URL here. So it's running on my local host, and I can use the default project that I got here. All right, so I'm running Supabase locally in this machine. I got my table, I got my SQL editor, I got my database with all the main features that we've got usually, the authentication, but it misses some specification here, some features that we have. It's gonna come up with time, but basically here I can run Supabase locally with the basic feature that we have on the cloud, on the app.supabase.com free instance or pro instance that you got. So when I go on Docker here, we can see that I got my Supabase local project, which is running with several different, okay, containers. So the main question now is how to migrate from local here to a Supabase instance. If you want to move all your work from here somewhere else, you can go to the guide of supabase.com, okay? The guide is on the URL supabase.com/docs/guide/CLI local development. And here you got more information. Why I'm not doing a video about this? Because there are already these guides. So here it's everything that we've done, Supabase init, Supabase start, etc., etc. And down there you got already a video about database migration, okay? So here you can look at this video if you want to migrate your database. It's not really complicated. First, you need to create a migration file by typing Supabase migration, blah, blah, blah. Then you can add the SQL to your migration file, and then you apply your migration. Okay, so it's really easy to do. So imagine one day you would have a Raspberry Pi or some computer running there. You could run your own Supabase instance locally on your machine. And that's what gives me the most hope in this product. It's that Supabase gives you actually the power to have the full control, the full access on your database. Personally, I will still always use the version on the cloud because it's really efficient. I will have no maintenance to do. But at first, to test your project and to work with Supabase, I really advise you to create a free project on supabase.com. And if you want to go further, you can host your own Supabase instance on your machine.